Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword. Gene is off tonight, so in the immortal words of Horace Rumpel, I'm alone and without a leader for Thursday, February 20th, 2025. This crossword was great. It was by Peter Gorman. It is his debut, and it is well put together, and it has a very interesting theme. So I guess I should start with the theme. There are 3 clues that run the width of the crossword. The first one is 20 across, and the clue is just this clue, and the answer is 21 across. Now, this is the clue is 20 across, and the answer is 21 across, which is a little odd. And then we have 37 across this answer, and it's 14 letters. But of course, this is a standard size New York Times crossword grid. And so in fact, the answer, and I counted just to make sure we weren't using a skinny grid, the answer is 15 letters. And then finally, we have 51 across this crossword, Wednesday puzzle. And of course, as you will recall from the very beginning of this podcast, this is for Thursday, February 20th. So what's going on? Well, the revealer comes from 2 clues, 29 across combined with 43 across. And it is something never to be repeated or a hint to the answers to the italicized clues. And the answer to both those together is one off. So one off is something that isn't to be repeated, and one off describes the answers to each of those clues. It was 20 across, it was 15 letters, and it was a Thursday puzzle. So this is very clever, and it was again by Peter Gorman. Peter, we salute you. There were some other great clues in the grid. I liked 6 across, say yes, say, and that was RSVP. And we also had 10 across, bada bing, bada boom, snap. I just like to say bada bing, bada boom. We had directly beneath that a marvelous clue, 16 across, move after a touchdown. And I'm thinking of some sort of an elaborate dance that a football player might be making, but the answer was taxi, that kind of a touchdown. It also behooves me to point out we had 41 across, alternative to a spicy Dorito was a Taki. So we had taxi and Taki both in the grid. And if I'm mispronouncing Taki, that is because Gene is not here to correct my pronunciation. My apologies. Close and in fact intersecting Taki, we had 28 down, home to many kings and queens, Holiday Inn. And even after I got the answer, I didn't quite understand why it was correct. But then I realized, they are talking about the bed size. So that was quite clever. We had 22 across, something that I'm hearing a whole lot about. Digital work fueled by machine learning, in brief, AI art. I think I'm going to be hearing that phrase more and more as the years progress. We had 24 down, sensational on Broadway, boffo. I like to say that almost as much as I like to say bada bing, bada boom. We had 31 down, 2 of spades, ? And the answer was S's. We had the entertaining 18 across, a Lynchian or Fellini-esque say, and the answer to that was cinematic. I just like to say Fellini-esque. When I can say it, most of the time I fear I mispronounce it. I ended up at 32 across, ancient Mexican civilization. I had no idea. And it crossed with 33 down. Queen Elizabeth I has one named for her. And I had the last 2 letters of the 3-letter answer being R-A. And I thought, bra, which I thought was sort of an unusual thing to have named after oneself. But she was Queen Elizabeth I. But then I didn't get the happy music and went back through the grid and discovered that instead of OLMBC, again, that was the ancient Mexican civilization of which I knew not, it turned out to be OLMEC, and that would mean that Queen Elizabeth has an era named after her, which made a whole lot more sense. So, that was this crossword for Thursday, February 20th, 2025 by Peter Gorman. Peter, we salute you for a job well done. And thanks everyone for listening. Remember, you can always get a hold of us, crosswordpodcast at icloud.com. And we'll be back again with our cutting edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.